After 6 years, Moon Studios, the guys behind the Amazing Ori series, are back with a new game, and it's not what you'd expect. So what is it, why should you care, and how does it play on the Steam Deck? Let's take a look. Just to get the minutiae out of the way, this is an early access title, so some problems and hiccups are to be expected. But the minimum specs suggest we should be able to play this game on the Steam Deck. And indeed, it runs, and most of the time pretty decently too.
Nice.
But first, let's talk a bit about this game that we've been waiting for so long for. As you might have picked up on by now, this is no platformer like Ori. Moonrise Studios did a complete 360 and went top-down action RPG Souls-like on it. So we start off with some character creation, and we get thrown right into a vicious pirate attack of some sort. We learn the basics, and before we know it, we wash up on this island and the game's afoot. Now let me just get this out of my system right now. I absolutely love the atmosphere and look of this game. The art style is gorgeous, and that's on the Steam Deck running potato mode with the graphics significantly downscaled and all. But the lighting, shadows, details, textures, and just the general look of the game is beautiful. And in that regards, it does remind me a lot of Ori, which after 6 years is still one of the prettiest platformers I've ever seen. These guys haven't missed a beat. There's a lot going on in the story department too.
And my counsel, as I did for your father for
The
many
great
years.
pestilence has returned, Lord Bowers.
Yes, I have heard the rumors.
They're not rumors. Even now it ravages the island of Sacra just off our own shores, turning their men and women into unspeakable things.
So far, there's a dead king, a plague rampages the lands, and that's pretty much all I know. I'm only an hour in so far, but I'm curious how we fit into the story. What I do know is gameplay, and it's fun. If you like dying. This game plays a lot like a cross between Dark Souls and Diablo. There's your dodge, parry, block and attack, the parry window seeming super small. I've not even once been able to do this, even in the tutorial. But that might just be me. I'm playing on normal and I've already died multiple times. And it has to be noted, as always, that I'm not great at these kind of games. Exploring the openish world feels fun and there's a lot to see, learn and do, and of course enemies to battle. What's interesting is that you create the game world and your character separately, meaning that if you were to start a new character and load this current world, all enemies would be super difficult. Or alternatively, you could blast through everybody with a high-level character on a beginner world. And that's not the only interesting design choice in this game. There's resource gathering, mining, chopping wood, fishing, campfires, you can cook foods used for health, not usually seen in games like these. There's this kind of auto-platforming thing going on, not necessarily unpleasant, but it definitely takes some getting used to. There's no jump button and the character takes leaps and jumps himself. The problem is you can still fall off ledges and edges. Combine that with your isometric and not always very clear viewpoint, and this can lead to some unfortunate stumbles and falls to your death. Enough about the gameplay. How does it actually run on the Steam Deck? And that's kind of a mixed bag at the moment. All of the gameplay you've seen so far has been at performance mode with 65% resolution scaling, with variable scaling down to 50% for 30 frames per second. And with these settings, most of the time it's well above that 30 frames per second cap. But then during cutscenes we get dropped well below the 30 frames per second, often down to the 15s.
But the pestilence turned men's faces inside out.
It's not a whole lot of graphics options to play with at the moment, but here's performance, balanced and quality mode. I would stay away from best quality mode for the time being, cause... And if you're willing to forgo the graphics even more, you can squeeze an extra few frames at 50% scaling, the lowest you can go. Loading into the game is fast, and so is loading into the level. Really nothing to complain about there, and other than the crashes I encountered when moving into the best quality mode, I haven't had any problems and stability seems decent. But again, this is only an hour's worth of playing so far.
Come on, man.
So, what's available at launch? The game is already very playable on Steam Deck, even in this early access state. That is after a few performance hotfixes that launched on day one. But clearly the game will get better optimization as the time goes on. I'm personally not going to play this game yet, even though I'm enjoying it very much so far. But according to the store page, the game is still missing chapters, areas, story content, and even whole game mechanics. The game's currently on sale for $35, and from what I can tell, will be a very reasonable $40 at launch. Let me know what you think, and if you're picking this one up. I'm definitely gonna play this one, regardless of some of the weird design choices they made. Check out here for awesome games coming in May, and I hope to see you in the next one.